The early darkness of winter descended upon the eastern United States. From November 2024 onward, a new phenomenon began to unsettle the tranquility. Unidentified drones, their origins and purposes unknown, appeared with increasing regularity in the night sky. Initial sightings were scattered, whispers of unusual activity over sleepy towns and bustling cities alike. New Jersey was the first state to report these enigmatic visitors. The sightings multiplied. They spread, casting a shadow of unease over New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and Virginia. The drones, as described by eyewitnesses, varied in size and flight patterns. Some were small, almost toy-like, flitting through the air with an agility that belied their size. Others were significantly larger, their silhouettes stark against the moonlit sky, their movements slow and deliberate, almost ominous. As sightings became more frequent, so did public concern. What were these drones? Who was operating them, and for what purpose? The official response was initially cautious, measured. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, both tasked with safeguarding national security, issued statements acknowledging the sightings. They assured the public that there was no immediate threat to safety. The drones, they maintained, did not appear to be engaged in any overtly hostile activities. Some officials even suggested that public reaction was overblown, a product of a news cycle hungry for sensationalism. However, with each passing day, the pressure mounted. State officials tasked with the immediate safety of their constituents grew increasingly vocal in their demands for answers. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, her state now a focal point of the drone activity, urged the federal government to take a more proactive stance. She called for the deployment of advanced detection systems. Online forums buzzed with speculation. Theories ranged from the mundane to the outlandish. Some suggested that the drones were part of a sophisticated smuggling operation. Others, fueled by the geopolitical tensions of the day, pointed fingers at foreign adversaries. Russia, China, Iran, North Korea all became potential suspects in the court of public opinion. Congressman Chris Smith, echoing the fears of many, publicly voiced his concerns about the potential for foreign involvement. The challenge in addressing the drone issue was compounded by the complex web of regulations governing American airspace. The Federal Aviation Administration, responsible for regulating all aspects of civil aviation, found itself grappling with a situation that exposed the limitations of existing frameworks. Drone laws, it turned out, were a patchwork of state and federal regulations, often contradictory and difficult to enforce. The FAA, accustomed to dealing with large aircraft and established flight paths, was ill-equipped to monitor the proliferation of small, agile drones operating in uncontrolled airspace. Local law enforcement agencies, on the front lines of the drone mystery, found themselves similarly hamstrung. Equipped to deal with terrestrial threats, they lacked the technology and training to effectively track or intercept objects in the sky. Shooting down a drone while tempting was deemed a dangerous last resort. The risk of errant bullets, collateral damage, and the legal ramifications of using deadly force against an unknown entity created a Gordian knot of legal and ethical considerations. The drone sightings, shrouded in mystery, became entangled in the political arena. President-elect Trump seized upon the issue, criticizing the Biden administration's response. He demanded transparency and suggested shooting down threatening drones. Lawmakers grappled with the implications, calling for increased funding for detection and countermeasures. The drone sightings exposed a vulnerability in American security.